let's talk a little bit about Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and what they did in the absence of Brandon Ayuk. All right. As you can see right there on the screen, we got their targets, we got their receptions, and I talked about this being the best version of Deebo Samuel that I've ever seen. I think this was hands down the best version. All right. And this is why. I think he gave you everything in the game. Usually he'll give you some run after catch. Okay, he'll give you a tough catch here and there. But then he's missing this part of his game. Like maybe he doesn't have like the super contested catch in the end zone and all that, or whatever. I thought he gave you everything. I thought it was like, hey, this is all me. This is full Deebo Samuel display. And there were times where he was getting really attacked. And there were some balls that went off of his hands. I thought they were poor throws by Brock Purdy. All right. Like he's coming underneath and like Brock throws it and it's like he has like one arm stretched out, barely gets a hand on it. It's like, bro, how you miss Deebo like that? It was the pressure. I understand. But overall, Deebo, man, he made a tight contested catch over the middle on a slant. I'm like, damn, how'd he come down with that? The RPO slant that he caught and him fighting through traffic, that was terrific. I mean, I don't know how many times I saw Deebo Samuel break tackles, run off, break more tackles, and continue to run before finally getting tackled. Like, I've seen him break tackles and then, fight for a few extra yards or whatever. But what I saw last night, it was like a man possessed. It was a man possessed. It was Deebo possessed. I was angry Deebo. And I don't know what the hell he's mad at, but he definitely needs to be mad like that more often because the yards after catch from Deebo yesterday and how he got it, that was super impressive. And then I don't know if it was a sluggo, it was kind of a stutter, stab, go route. For him to track that ball in over the outside shoulder, let's go. Let's go. Toe tap, 2 feet in, damn near 3, just to be safe. I think that was the best version of Deebo Samuel I've seen. And I've seen Deebo have some big-time performances. I've seen him have some good games. But I think that was the best version of him I've seen in one game where it's like, Deebo, we got to lean on you, big dog. Come through. And they gave him 12 targets. Give him 12 targets every game. He ain't going to get that. But I've always said I felt like Deebo should get 8 targets a game. There should not be a game where Deebo is not getting 8 targets. There should not be a game where he doesn't get 8 targets, ever. And I'd say the same for George Kittle. If George Kittle gets less than 8 targets in the game, and I don't care, okay, you got Deebo, you got Kittle, you got Ayuk, they all need 8 targets. They're all very, very good. And the more you get the ball in their hands and the more you put an emphasis on that, the better your offense is going to be. They need their touches. We see what Deebo does with touches. We see what George Kittle does with touches. Terrific run after catch. He's stiff-arming guys down the field. Like, get off me, get off me, get off me. Let me pick up these extra yards right here. Right? Like, they're special players. And the more you attempt to get the ball in their hands, the more they do special stuff. It's very consistent, all right, with those guys. Like, target them. I understand 49ers got Christian McCaffrey. Get him the rock, too. But Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle, they each, at the very least, need 8 targets each per game. That is 16, 24 attempts. So I don't know how many passes Brock Purdy's going to throw. But out of if he's throwing 30 passes, 24 of them need to be allocated to those 3 guys. 100%. You can't stop all of them. Keep feeding those guys. And if you want to give, 2 passes to Juwan Jennings, 1 to, Ronnie Bell, another 1 to whatever. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey, give him his 3-4 attempts. But 24 of your passing attempts need to go to Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. Like, that was a George Kittle coming out party. And it's like, well, why doesn't George Kittle get targeted like this all the time? I tell people, and they talk about the tight ends and the best tight ends in the league. And they start talking about how, well, you look at, Travis Kelce and look what he's done every year. And I was like, I always tell my people, like, if George Kittle was used the same way Travis Kelce is, where it's clear they put an emphasis on getting Travis Kelce the rock, George Kittle would do the same thing. Like, George Kittle would be a 1,300-yard pass catcher every year if they just said, you know what, we're going to throw you the ball. What do you get right here? 9 targets, 9 times a game, 8 times a game. George Kittle would eat. No doubt about it. He's one of the best pass catching tight ends in the league. And he's just not utilized that way because they have the weapons. And I think Kyle Shanahan is like, I just want to run my scheme. These guys are good. They're good, but they need to rock. They need to rock. Get them to rock more. All right. And I don't know how they're going to do it. They got a lot of mouths to feed, but I don't care. George Kittle is special. He is for the 49ers, generational tight end for the 49ers. Generational tight end around the league, I don't know. He's different for sure. Deebo Samuel, get him to rock. Like, your offense is better for it.